Welcome back. Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba says it wasn't necessary for South Africa to apologise to other African countries for the recent xenophobic attacks. This after President Cyril Ramaphosa issued an apology at former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe's funeral in Harare. Again, last week, Energy Minister Jeff Radebe apologised on behalf of the President to Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, Mashaba maintains he's not xenophobic. He joins me in studio now to talk to us about this. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time. Are you xenophobic?
Good morning, Gordon. Please, I think let us start this on a right footing. I think your opening remarks are far from the truth. I think for me, I cannot prescribe to other people what to say and not what to say. I said I have no reason as Herman Mashaba to apologize. I did not really say that other people do not have a right to apologize or not to apologize. I think let's put that very clear. It doesn't mean that if I'm saying is I have nothing to apologize for, I represent other people.
The president apologized.
And I don't represent the president.
Do you support that apology?
Personally, as Herman Mashaba, I see no reason why I have to apologize. In fact, for me, as Herman Mashaba, I believe that a lot of people who have an agenda to collapse this country, they have to apologize to me. They have to apologize to millions of our young girls who are turned into prostitutes by international drug syndicates. The world needs to apologize to 10.2 million of our people who are unemployed today because of billions of counterfeit goods coming into this country. The world owes an apology to the human trafficking, modern-day slavery that's happening in the city of Johannesburg and elsewhere in our country. I believe our people deserve an apology before we can apologize to anyone. But if anybody wants to apologize, it is their right to do so.
Mr. Mayor, in your view, who's peddling this modern-day slavery? Who's behind it?
Well, drug syndicates. I can take you into town right now when you finish.
Where are these drug syndicates mainly from, in your view?
The drug syndicates, they're from all over the world. They are from all over the world. Serious drug syndicates are turning our young girls from as young as 8, give them drugs, turn them into prostitutes. The only pay they get is the drugs to continue with drug trade. They don't get any cent out of those. Our young girls are made into slaves. South Africa, the last country to get independence, allows slavery to happen under our watch, where I can take you in your media house to buildings where the counterfeit goods, billions, we don't know how they're coming into this country, where they're labeled, and young girls are being made to work without pay. Their passports are taken, and I believe those are the people we owe an apology to, and no one can expect me to apologize about asking for the rule of law. You remember very well, 1st of December 2016, I called for the rule of law. I immediately saw there's a huge problem that if we're not going to do anything about it, this country will explode. And what happens? Some people, obviously, with the agenda to collapse this country and beneficiaries of these criminal syndicates, have started attacking me, insulting me. In fact, I believe they're the ones who are responsible for this mess that's happening in our country at the moment.
Mayor Mashaba, you model yourself and how you advocate this matter. It's quite clear that you are a person who is not shy to call a spade a spade.
Why should I? That's how you meant to.
That's why, therefore, I would like you to say it as it is. There was a Nigerian national last week who was sentenced to 6 life terms for keeping 3 young girls as sex slaves. Now, you are saying, you're making the connection to say that
that's not an isolated case. It's a drop in an ocean.
It's a drop in the ocean. So are Nigerian nationals behind most of these crimes?
But it's not only Nigerians who are responsible behind this. We've got people from Afghanistan, from India, from all over the world. We've got Rowan and Krecha, who's today in South Africa. My taxes, I work hard. I've got 10 million of our people who are unemployed. We in South Africa right now, as I'm speaking to you, 18 million of our own citizens. For them to put bread on the table, they've got to rely on social grants from government. And we expect my taxes to in jail to support a Czech Republic, someone who's needed in the Czech Republic. They can feed him there. I don't understand why we can't put him in a plane this afternoon, send him back to the Czech Republic, then the Czechs can take care of him. Now you expect me, my taxes, which I work hard for, must actually support such an individual. So, and I honestly and truly believe, personally, I take very serious exceptions when we talk about undocumented foreign nationals. Everyone, all these people with this agenda, their narrative is around Africans. We are not only sitting with the problems of immigration from Africans. We sit with people. I've given an example of the Czech Republic, Afghanistanis, Pakistanis. How many Pakistanis are in this country illegally?
Mr. Mayor, in the interest of time, I'm completely out, but I've got to put this question to you. In Johannesburg, the DA-run municipality is being accused of running or trying to buy patronage from the EFF, who you've had a cooperative relationship with. They've been voting with you. The AfriRent fleet contract. Is that contract correct?
This is actually...
And does it involve any of the leaders of the EFF?
Because I think, for me, it's one of the biggest insult personally. It can be leveled against me by the media and people who are writing this story. It's not the first time. It emerged again last week during council. The first time when it emerged, it was on a day of council. That there's a tender that my administration...
That tender is above board, according to you. Is that right?
Well, the city manager, and fortunate enough, they did a forensic investigation. Only as a mayor, I'm so far away from tenders. In fact, I made it clear from day one. You can put me under any test. Please bring Chief Justice Mogoeng. I can do sign under oath. The only time I knew about the company called AfriRent was on the day or when the matter was published. I did not know of an existence of a company called AfriRent. Please bring Chief Justice Mogoeng. I must write under oath. And the journalists who are writing this, they must also sign under oath my involvement in this.
Mr. Mayor?
If that is how we must sort this matter out. So if they've got issues with EFF, because it looks like they've decided to launch an attack against the EFF, but I don't understand why I must get involved in this. And I take serious exception to this.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time.